Que lo que mi gente. This is the K&A podcast. I am your host, Adrian Checo, and I'm joined with my co-host, Kenny. How you doing today, man?
What's up? Just chilling.
It's good.
Just hanging out.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Can't complain.
First things first, Knicks. They're not making it to the end, bro. But it's okay, because I still love them. Jalen Brunson's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? They should have won the game before the one that passed, but it's okay, because they won.
Okay, but they're still moving on to the next round following this one, so it don't matter. They're going to beat the Pacers and move on to the next round.
Not if you hooping. Hallie!
I have to bust out the bag.
Alrighty. Tell people what we're talking about today.
Today we is talking about motivation. So, what do you believe motivation to be?
I keep clicking this pen, bro, by accident. I'm sorry, guys. I just think it's anything that really puts a battery in your back, anything that fuels you and drives you to want to continue doing whatever it is you want to do. I think motivation for some people varies in whichever media you want to consume or people. Motivation is just something that you should use within the moment that you get it to just do whatever you want to do.
I mean, I don't know. I don't believe in motivation. So,
Oh, why not?
I feel like it's a feeling that just kind of fades away. You know, like some people be like, oh, like they rely on motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's something that you should rely on because it's not always going to be there. And 99% of the time, you're not going to feel like doing the things that you are supposed to do.
I see motivation as just like a quick, I think I would say it's like a checkpoint. You know how like you play a game, every checkpoint you'll regain health, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like through a level. That's how I see it. Like you'll just get it within that moment when you actually need it. And then boom, it's your job whether or not you want to continue with it. So it's like we gave you the drive, we gave you the gas to go. How are you going to use it? Some people just look at it and they'll get motivated and they just won't act on it. So now it's like later on, 2 hours later, now you're feeling lazy. You're laying in bed. You're like, damn, like I don't even want to go to the gym or I don't even want to, I don't know, whatever it is you want to do. I don't even want to go practice or whatever.
But does your motivation last for a long time?
But the thing is, for me, I use my motivation in order to guide my discipline. So I'm motivated enough to go to the gym. Once I'm there, it's my discipline that guides me through all that. That's how I interpret it, at least. It's like, it's just to give you that push.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You really just need that one push just to take that first step into whatever you want to do. So I don't see motivation as something that you need to hold on to for as long as you can. You need to just, as soon as you get it, you need to just act on it as soon as possible. Because you're not always going to have it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I choose not to use motivation because before I used to think that, like, when I was maybe like 16, I thought it was like, oh, everybody that's like successful is always motivated all the time and they just always feel motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you believe in that and like you can't do it, I feel like it deflates your spirit. Because it's like you look at everybody and what they're doing, you're thinking, oh, they're just so motivated. And I gave such a power to that word that it's like I felt like if because I didn't have it, like I wasn't gonna be successful.
I don't know. I feel like the definition I've given to it at least helps me with like just everyday things. Like sometimes I just feel motivated to just, I don't know, go to the park, play basketball. Like it don't even have to be anything that's like life changing. It could be something as simple as you cleaning your room. But it's just a matter of you just taking advantage of that and just actually acting on it. Like you know FaZe Clan, right?
Yeah.
For example. Back in like I want to say 2016, 2017. Do you know who FaZe Rain is?
It's like the leader.
FaZe Rain? No, he was just a member. Anyways, so at one point of his career, he was uploading 3 times a day. Now, I can say that he's very disciplined into holding on to that for as long as he did until he got burnt out. But at some point in his life, he was very motivated to want to do that. And there was something that turned that switch on in his head that said, I'm gonna start triple uploading every single day, editing, uploading, and recording, whatever his process was. And then eventually that motivation died down and his discipline took over. So it's like he took advantage of that motivation he had, extended it for as long as he could with the discipline, and then look how successful he is now. Or was, because like, you know, he's not uploading no more. He's just, you know, he's just chilling. You know, he went through a lot of stuff in his life. I'm not gonna mention it, but you know, I feel like at that time in his life he was doing his thing.
So, let's say you get the, you know, when you get those random motivation sparks at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, how do you use that to like keep going in the next day? Because I feel like once you wake up the next day, it's gone.
It kind of depends on the person. I'm usually not up at 2 a.m.
I mean, I said 2 a.m. Like,
as just an example, I get it.
Late.
Let's say I get it like right before I go to sleep, because I'll usually watch like a video to fall asleep, and sometimes there'll be something in the video. And sometimes I'll just think about it, like I'll dream about it. Like the last thing I'm watching or like hearing or thinking about before I sleep, I dream about it, and I remember in the morning. It's just your responsibility to hold on to it as long as you can, for you to be able to act on it and take that discipline to the next level. That's it. It's just, you're responsible for how you are with yourself. You are responsible to hold yourself accountable. So it's like, if you feel motivated, what are you going to do? Just wait till you feel motivated again to actually act on it, because you can't act on it now. It's your job to hold on to it, however mean it is, whether it's like writing it down or like something I do sometimes is I'll give myself a specific time. So when I was in college, I felt motivated to do my homework sometimes, and I'll be like, okay, at 3:15 I'll start. And it's my job to hold myself accountable that if 3:15 comes up and I don't do my homework, it's like, damn, like I wasted it. And I don't know when I'm gonna get it back. And that's the thing. Motivation is random.
okay, so you think that there's a relationship between motivation and self-discipline?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Cause
Do you agree? Or do you just feel like everyone should just be disciplined into doing whatever they want to do?
I feel like you should never worry about motivation. Like you shouldn't wait for yourself to get that spark to be like, oh, like let me get up and do something. Like I feel like that's just something that you should do, and that's like having a responsibility in a way to like the last name that you represent. So it's like I take a lot of pride in the last name that I have. So it's like I want to incorporate the discipline to honor my family line, you know, to be like the first to do something. And that, I don't know, I can't rely on motivation anymore because I feel like it used to fail me.
And the thing is, it's not a reliance. It's a push. It's like, you're not going to get motivated to be a millionaire overnight. You have to want to be a millionaire, and you have to be working to be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? It's like, down the line, you're going to be like motivated to be like, wait a minute, I can do this, and that. Let me start doing this. Use that drive, use that push, use that fuel. It gets you to where you want to be. Now it's your job to maintain that until you reach the next hurdle. It's like, dang, okay, now I got this going on, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. What can I do now to change this? You find something new, for example. Boom, damn, I'm motivated to start all over. I'm ready to do this, and that. Now you're there again. It's just a constant cycle. It's not a reliance. It's more of a push. It's like, to me, I get burnt out, and I think motivation is what helps me get through those little burnout stages. Because I can continue with whatever, because I feel like it depends on the thing, and I'm very disciplined. But motivation is just a push, bro. It's just a drive, really. It's not a reliance.
And you said that you get motivated just now. What was the last thing you just said?
I said that you shouldn't use it as a reliance. It should be a push.
So do you think that
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like those two things are intertwined with one another in regards to, like, why should people favor one or the other? Like, why shouldn't people be okay with being motivated and just to stick to, like, discipline? Like, why should it be one or the other instead of both?
Because it's like I said, like motivation just fades. You know, like I like. Do you pick up stuff and feel motivated to like try something else new, or
Yeah.
is it like how do you distinguish motivation and like passion?
I think you have a passion for something, and I think you should be motivated to pursue that passion. I think it just goes hand in hand. I don't think motivation is its own simple thing. I think it's its own. It's like a subcategory to everything. I'll give you this for example. I've been playing a game called Tekken a lot. It's a fighting game, uh, and I'll say people use characters that I don't use specifically, and I'll look at them use it, and I like how they're using the character, and I'll be like, I feel motivated to start labbing this character and trying him out, learning combos, strings and whatnot, and it's motivating me to try. It's just a matter of, do I want to go and do it now? You know what I'm saying? I have a passion for the game. I like playing it a lot. Am I motivated to play it? No. I like playing it. Am I motivated to try this character? Yeah, because I just saw someone else do it. Am I going to do it? I'm going to hold myself accountable to whether or not I want to do that.
So how would you use like motivation to like in something that you want to pursue?
So it really depends on the type of media I'm consuming. So let's take photography, for example, which is something I want to continue. My motivation stems from my progress. So me going back and looking at older pictures compared to newer pictures, like I just did a shoot, a birthday shoot, and them pictures came out phenomenal, phenomenal. And they haven't dropped yet. Only a different batch dropped. She had posted them, but I don't think those are as good as the birthday pictures she's gonna drop. And it's motivating to me to see progress. Same thing with the gym. I don't necessarily like going to the gym. I actually hate going to the gym. I like seeing the progress, and it's motivating to see the difference between my body 6 months ago and now. So I'm not always looking at progress, but I like to see it every now and then, and it motivates me to keep going. I'm not hanging on to it. I'm not relying on it. It's more of something that keeps me going. It's just a push.
Okay, so then motivation for you is helping you achieve a goal of being just like a better photographer.
Essentially. It makes me want to keep improving. I feel like when I'm at a limbo, at least in like certain things, it could be anything really. If you're at a limbo and you just have that little spark of motivation, it makes you want to be like, okay, what am I doing wrong? It gives you self-reflection. It makes you keep yourself accountable. It's just a lot of things that motivation can help you with, that I think that people hold it to such a degree that they think they need to hold on to it forever. And if they're never motivated, it's like, I can't do it. But you got to just get it when you have it, and just keep yourself disciplined in whatever it is what you want to do.
Where do you draw motivation from?
A lot of things. Honestly, it kind of depends on the day or like what I'm doing. Like there's three main ones: music, anime, and then those random TikTok sounds that have yeet in it for some reason.
Could you play like a sample?
A sample? This is the one I low-key been obsessed with. It's that one where you ever watch Dune?
No.
It's so freaking tough.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
Nah, that's tough. Come on, bro. That's fire.
I see those clips mostly on like, I don't see them on like anime and stuff like that. I see the people use it for like the before and after when they started the gym and stuff like that.
Well, that's because you don't watch anime, so that's not on your For You page. I feel like that's just my For You page. It's just anime, wrestling, and then just stupid stuff. Just funny stuff. But like it kind of depends on the day. Like there's like, if I find a specific scene that I really like, it's very meaningful to me, then I'll rewatch it. Like there's one scene in One Piece, I'll rewatch it anytime that I feel like I have nothing.
Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I do pull motivation. I'll tell you where I pull motivation from.
Where?
Movies. And I'm gonna tell you one movie that for some reason always sticks with me. And I watch this movie when I'm sad or anything like that. Cars, Kung Fu Panda, and what's another one? What's the last one? Either like How to Train Your Dragon or
How to Train Your Dragon is a bad movie.
No, it's not.
How to Train Your Dragon is not a good movie.
The first one?
All of them suck. All of them suck.
You're wildin'.
How to Train Your Dragon is not a classic. Hot take. It's butt. And that's it. And I stand on it.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, Cars is definitely one of them, and Kung Fu Panda for sure. But it's like it's the
But why,
scene. Okay, I'll tell you what. This all right when you watch who he was, right? Lightning
Okay.
McQueen. In the beginning, he was selfish. He was arrogant. He thought he knew it all.
And it was cocky.
Yeah, and then when he got to Radiator Springs,
Mm-hmm.
his personality, his character, everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got back to the racetrack, and the part where the dude hits I forgot the blue car's name.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, when the car flips onto the grass,
Mm-hmm.
and Lightning McQueen is about to be the first rookie to win the Piston Cup, and he breaks at the last second and pushes the other dude past the finish line because he sees the vision of Doc Hudson going into the same crash. That I pull motivation from. But it's like that's a different kind of motivation. That's like a motivation to like be a better person. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who you were before. Like all that matters is like if you do something to change who you want to be in the future.
But I mean, as long as you pull motivation from something. Because you being a better person leads into everything else you want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me not.
Yeah.
Like this, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You watch Cars freaking 3 days ago, you feel sad, and then a few days later, now you feel more motivated to be a better person. So now you got more to say on this podcast for whoever's viewing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's all a cause and effect. It's all a butterfly effect. It doesn't necessarily need to be exactly connected, but in some way, shape, or form, you are going to be motivated to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say the exact scene in One Piece because, someone might be watching. This is a spoiler. You know what I'm saying? But it's very impactful. Matter of fact, I'll say one. So this character named Robin, right? He's the only survivor of her island because they burned it down because it had too much knowledge of the world, right?
Uh-huh.
So they called her the Demon Child, and she had a bounty of like, I think it was like 100K at like the age of like 9.
Mm-hmm.
She was considered a pirate. So she believed that she couldn't be around anybody, and anyone that she was around was eventually going to die because everyone around her on her island died except her. So now she met the main crew, Luffy and the Straw Hats, and for the first time in her life, she had the chance to say whatever she wanted to do. So she got kidnapped and brought to a government island where she was being held hostage and she was going to be executed. And for the first time, she had actual friends go and try to save her. And she screams out, "I want to live." Because she kept telling him, "Stop trying to save me. I'm not your friend. I don't want to live anymore. I just want to go. I just want to go." And that's it. And then Luffy screams, "Shut up. I don't care what you're saying. Just say what you want for the first time in your life." And she screams, "I want to live." And that's motivating. Because it's like, after everything she's been through, seeing everyone she loved die, following people she didn't want to follow just because she felt safe around them, knowing that eventually she was going to fall out with them, and then for the first time actually meeting people who care about your well-being and safety, and screaming what you want in front of the government that you are now declaring war against, it's motivating.
Because there I see she probably found her fulfillment in a way. Like she found what she's like, her purpose.
Of course.
In a sense. So do you feel like you feel more motivated when you find like what you want to do? Like, do you feel like those spurts happen more often, or do they happen less? Because now it's like, okay, I finally understand what I want to do, but now it's like, do you still feel motivated sometimes?
Repeat that question again.
Like, if you find what you think your purpose is in life, do you think that you feel more motivated because now you found that that purpose, and like that motivation is gonna like happen more often than not now.
The thing is with motivation, I don't see it as I need it to happen often. I see it more as like I'm down the road, and for some reason, randomly, a guy gifted me $20, and now I could go buy something with that $20. It's just random. I don't need it to happen every day, and I don't need it to happen every couple weeks. It can happen once a year. It's just a matter of what am I gonna do with the $20 this random guy gave me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need every time I walk across the street for a guy to give me $20. You know what I'm saying? For example, I'll give you this. When we ran, I found $20 on the floor. What was the first thing I told you?
I don't remember.
I said, dang, I might have to start running with you
Oh,
more
yeah,
often because I just found a random $20.
Oh.
Now, what did I do after that? Did I run with you again?
No.
I had the motivation at that moment. And I held myself accountable to the point where I said, dang, I really didn't run. And now I feel bad because I really wanted to run within that moment, but something just didn't turn on for me. Like there was just no switch in my head that it was like, yeah, let's go run. You know what I'm saying?
So let's say you feel motivated, right? And you feel like that switch doesn't happen like you was talking about. Do you think that you should leave that thing entirely?
No. So like I said, once you're motivated and you have that motivational drive, it's your job to hold yourself accountable to what you're going to do next. I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't keep running because honestly, I felt pretty good afterwards. Went home, took a shower, took a little nap, went to work. Yeah, I felt refreshed, realistically, rather than me just sleep. I think what time did we do? We did it in like morning, like 9, 10-ish.
Yeah.
I probably would have been asleep then. I probably would have been asleep from the moment we started to the time we ended running, and then I would have just woke up just for work. But I felt motivated enough. Matter of fact, I wasn't even motivated. I was pushed by you and I was inspired by you to run because you wanted me to go with you. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. I do it. We finish. I find $20. I'm motivated to do it again, and I didn't do it again. Would I want to do it again? Yeah, why not? But it's just, I have to have that drive to want to do it again.
So it's like, so how do you find the motivation? How do you find the self-discipline when there is no motivation?
That's the thing. I don't know. I literally just find myself doing these things just out of instinct. Like, I can't tell you that I went to the gym just because I wanted to. Wajid was my motivation to start going to the gym. And then after he quit for a while, it was just the discipline that took over after that. So it's just, you have to have that drive. It doesn't have to be motivation at that point. You just have to have that little bit of drive to want to go and start something and then allow your discipline to take over. For me, I start with motivation and I push into discipline. So what I want to ask you actually now is, how do you feel like discipline takes over for you? Because you said you don't feel motivated into leaning into discipline. You are just feeling like you are more disciplined into doing whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah, so because I don't believe in motivation, I rely heavily on the fact that if my mind is like, oh, like this thing kind of sucks. So like that's what I got when I first started running. I was like, yo, this sucks. And when I say that, I'm like, okay, now I got to do it. Because now I want to build a mental callus on my mind to be like, okay, I can do the things that I don't feel like doing, and that's going to help me be a better person in the future. And that's also going to help me in the future when you could do things that you don't want to do, but that you do them like you love them.
So then how would you say you keep discipline? How do you keep yourself disciplined without keeping yourself motivated? Because I feel like your perspective could actually help people that aren't experiencing something that I would describe as motivational like phases. So if they're just relying on discipline, how can they just continue that discipline without feeling motivated to do what they do?
Well, probably to find your purpose, honestly. Like, you find a way to make yourself proud that you're doing something that might affect other people. So it's like, with this, I want to stay disciplined with it because I feel like it's going to affect people in the future. So it's like, I hope that somebody can take something from it and then it'll help you. And I also feel like I want my family name to live on for a very long time. And if I can be the spark for that, that'd be amazing. Cause like you ever see like a very powerful person, not in the sense of like dominant or anything like that, but just like he's such a well-rounded individual that they have like you look at them and it almost seems like they have no flaws, and you're like, damn, like who was their dad or who was their mom, like who were their parents, how were they raised? Like, do you ever look at that and be like look at somebody and be like, damn, like, you know, what pushed them, what kept them so disciplined to being who they are now?
I don't think so. I don't think I do. I think I just look at it as these are people on a grind and they have their own reasons and their own purpose, and that's just them. I don't think that. I think there's obviously like outside factors and stuff that influence why they do the things they do. It's the same way why I think about how people got to where they are when people are homeless. Like, what did you do to get to this point, and what are you doing to get out of this situation? Unless you want to stay there.
Mm-hmm. Like for me, the reason I say discipline is because I want my last name to live on. Like I said.
Let me ask you this. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think that your interpretation of motivation is different from mine because I see what you're doing as you being motivated to keep that last name alive.
Mm-hmm.
So you pushing to make that last name memorable and make it meaningful is your motivation to do whatever it is you want to do. As little as you think it is in your head and as powerful as you think that last name is, I think you are motivated to want to keep pushing forward.
So how do you know if it's motivation and just discipline?
Well, discipline is doing it. Motivation is your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like motivation is the reason why you're doing it, and discipline is just the action of actually staying consistent and actually doing it. So, for example, let's say running, or matter of fact, let's say the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We are staying disciplined while continuing this, but your motivation in this is to just have a memorable last name. You know what I'm saying? They held the power that Checo holds. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, my motivation to continue the podcast is I know a lot of people that this can affect, and I want them to be affected in a positive way. That's my motivation for doing it. That's my purpose. My discipline is coming here every week, recording an episode, doing the process of getting everything good, and then uploading it. You know what I'm saying? That's the discipline manner of it. I feel like discipline is the action of doing it, and motivation is the purpose behind why you continue. Not necessarily saying that some people lose that purpose and some people find new purposes and things, and that's just, it's an on and off switch of motivation and whatnot. Some people lose the purpose, some people find new ones. It depends on the people, depends on the situation, depends on the scenario.
So, what is your strategy for maintaining a healthy level of motivation and self-discipline?
I think that I try to act on my motivational spurts as soon as possible. So if I was to go back and talk about how you was like, what do I do if it was like 2 a.m. and you fall asleep and it's gone by the next day? I just try to do something within that same moment that's going to hold on to that drive. Whether that be just writing something down, having a specific song. I have a specific song that I listen to that just reminds me of whatever moment I'm in. So you ever know, like, a test taking tip that I learned in high school was that if you study and you chew and you eat and you have that same flavor when you're taking the test, you'll remember it, and it works for me. But I use music in that sense. So if I get if I get a random motivational spurt, I'll listen to a song and I'll listen to it again later. And I remember how I felt in that moment. So it's just hold on to it when you have it. There isn't a specific time. It's not a certain amount of motivational phases you should have. It's just, if you get it, hold on to it and hold yourself accountable. Because if you keep feeling motivated and you don't act on it, that's where the problem lies. You're not acting on your motivation. You're getting these feelings, but it's like, what are you doing with them? Like, are you doing anything? Are you pushing towards something? Are you doing more than you should be doing? You know what I'm saying? It's simple things.
Mm.
So now, after that, it's like, if you don't feel motivated, would you say that you feel inspired by people then?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm inspired by people's stories. Like, for example, Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
when I don't know his full story, but got arrested, and just now, he won an Oscar, Best Supporting Actor, I believe, for Oppenheimer. Like,
Mhm.
that's inspiring. Like, somebody like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, somebody that had a pretty spectacular, like, athletic career, and then he got injured, and it kind of just all went away. And then he had $7 in his pocket, and you look at who he is now, and it's just like, that's inspiring. Like, seeing the growth. But it's like, nowhere in that do I see that motivation was like the big factor for them. Like, every single person that you ask like that, it's like, yo, what was the key that you used? And they always say discipline. They never say motivation.
The thing is, discipline is what you need. You need discipline. Motivation happens to anybody. Anybody and everybody feels motivated. But do you have the discipline to work on that motivation? And that's what I think that's where we fall. That's where we differ, I guess. Because, like, you don't believe in it because you think it's like the golden ticket, I guess. Or that's how at least I'm interpreting it for you. I see inspiration and motivation to go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel seeing these stories about these people? Like, how do you feel afterwards?
I wouldn't say pumped. Like, I don't get like spark to be like, oh, like, I need to go do something. I just take it and I'm like, how can I apply that to like what I'm doing now? Or how can I use that to be like, if I'm going through hard things, like, these people went through harder things. Like, why am I complaining?
And I interpret that as motivation. I don't think motivation is necessarily you just getting pumped or like have a spark, or it's just a form of finding purpose in what you're doing. And then your purpose and your motivation is what's leading you into discipline. And then your discipline is leading you into your goal. And then your goal is leading you to be whatever it is you planned out later down the line. That's how I see it. So it's all just a chain reaction. It's not necessarily, it differs between people. It's not the same for everybody. Like, I consume a different type of media that you consume, and we interpret things completely differently. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, motivation does not have a singular definition, and it doesn't give you a similar action to someone else. Me and you can feel motivated at the exact same time. Are we going to act on it the exact same way? No. You could very well be, I don't know, you could very well not care. And I could be the person that acts on it. Or is just, you can't act on it in that same moment. And I end up being the person that acts on it within that same moment. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's different between everybody. And it differs in various ways, and people act on it in very different ways.
Alright, so we had to cut real quick because my pops was trying to fix the door.
I thought there was a ghost in the house. I'm not going to lie. It really scared me.
But we asked him a question, and I think he provided us with like probably some really good content in terms of, we asked him what.
We should have gave him a mic.
Yeah.
We should have gave him a mic.
It was like, what was it that we asked? What, do you believe in motivation? He
Yeah.
said yes. And he said, I feel motivated every day because I'm pushing towards what I want to do. So it's kind of like, almost like what I said in the beginning, where it's like he found his fulfillment, and now he just feels very motivated to do the things that he does.
Yeah. And he also said, like, he's reached different milestones in his life. And the first example he said was with cars, where he hit a fulfillment in each car, and it pushed him to want to do more. So it's like your motivation could literally come from just reaching a milestone. It's literally something as simple as that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you believe that people can use motivation towards material things? Like, cause it's not wrong to want the nice things.
The
Like,
thing-
I feel like there's a wrong stigma in terms of obviously you don't want to waste all your money on it,
Mhm.
but it's like it's okay to want the nice things in life. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
So what's your question?
So it's like, do you think that you can use motivation to pursue like either material things, you know?
I think motivation can literally be used for anything. Your motivation could literally be to eat healthy. Your motivation could come from anything, and it could just push you to want to just go to the gym, draw, watch more TV shows. Your motivation could be something that is very unhealthy for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be anything. It could be pushed for anything. It could be meant for anything. And that's what people don't realize. Your motivation doesn't just have to push you to be a better person. Like, that's just one of the billions of things it could push you towards.
Mm-hmm.
Materialistic things and stuff like that, that's just one of the various things that you could be motivated to push towards, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he was talking about what was his first car? The Chevy.
It was a 1978 Chevy.
Yeah,
That's what I remember.
1978
Chevy. He had it for 6 months, and from there he wanted to get a Maxima, and then from there he had it for like all these little months, and it was just like the milestone of being able to purchase a new car, and I don't want to say getting a car like that was easy, because it's definitely easier before than it is now, but I don't want to discredit that. I feel like he still worked as hard as he can to achieve those milestones. And every time he did, he felt motivated to reach another milestone. You know, and it doesn't even have to be just cars. It could just be like the house he built, anything like he worked for, the family he built. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are all milestones he reached, and then still wanted more because he knew he could do more, and he didn't just stop at where he was at. Admirable man.
That was good.
So my question to you is, when I feel discouraged, I tend to try to lean on something that is going to motivate me. So I feel like it's a forced motivation, but you don't really believe in that type of stuff. So how do you think discipline keeps you from getting discouraged?
Well, for me, I put a faith in something higher than me. And I know that everything that comes with what I want to achieve comes with trials and tribulations. And I stay disciplined in knowing that everything that I'm striving for, it all comes with a price. And you have to be willing to pay that price if you want to get to where you are. I mean, get to where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that everything that may happen is just happening to build you up to be who you're supposed to be. So you can want all the things in life, but are you willing to take all the pain and suffering that comes with it?
And to me, I feel like every time I ask you a question like this, I just feel like that's your motivation, but you just don't consider it that way. Like, for example, you believe in God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you hold him to a very high regard. You're very close with him. I feel like that's your motivation to continue because you know what he has in store for you. You know, would you agree with that?
Yeah, because every time that, especially now, if I'm reaching a milestone, he always gives you the next vision.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants you to hit that one first.
Would you say that that's motivating for you then, to want to know what else he has in store for you?
Yeah.
We got him. We got him. Has this conversation changed your perspective on what motivation could be for you? Or do you still not believe in it?
I still don't believe in the feeling that you get. I think
What's the feeling?
I think a lot of young people hold on to thinking that once you get that spark that it's always going to be there, and it's not always going to be there. You know, like it's always going to fade, and 99% of the time you're not going to want to feel like doing the things that you have to do. But I definitely do believe that when you reach certain milestones, or even if people see those milestones in you, then it can push you to get to the next one. Like what my mom and my dad did for us with the
Yo, shout out to your parents, bro. Shout out to your parents. This is honestly the greatest gift on the planet. They got us each a notebook with the logo on it. They got pens with the logo on it. It might be a little small. I'm not sure if you could see it. Do you mind grabbing that sign behind you?
Yeah, I got you.
We got this sign also. I don't even know how they got the logo. It's crazy.
We don't know how they got the logo.
Like, she hacked into the computer or something. I don't know.
Because I never shared the logo with anybody but me and Kenny. So it's like I don't understand how she got the logo. Because it's like you can't even take a screenshot of it because the quality fades after you screenshot it.
Mhm.
So it's like I don't know how.
And it's crazy because I saw the packaging on the table, and I was just like, okay, Adrian just got something planned for today. And then your mom comes downstairs. She goes, oh, I got you guys a gift.
Didn't even know what it was.
I didn't even know what it was. I was opening it, and I saw, I'm like, wait a minute, this looks familiar. I just saw this logo this morning.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But that's definitely something that motivates me, is knowing that, like, your family has your back and they support you
Mhm.
and they want to see you do well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now that they see that there's been a lot of things that I've taken seriously, but like this one is like something that I actually take seriously. And it reminds me of, you know, that line in the Drake song Redemption? I need certain people to tell me they're proud of me. That means a lot to me.
It's a good bar.
W.
It's
Like
a
that.
caption.
That made me think of like this exact moment.
Mhm.
That same line. So it's like that motivates me for sure.
I think just having people consistently tell me the quality that they like about me, and just the fact that they can point out things that I myself don't see in myself, it's motivating enough to want me to keep going. So it's just, your motivation can come from literally anything, bro. My motivation for this freaking episode was just receiving this gift moments before we started. Like, that was literally it. That was the battery in my back that I needed to just do this episode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just your dad making a guest appearance off camera and just talking to us. That was another one.
Yeah.
So getting two back to back like that, I think this was a great episode, bro. I'm gonna be honest, and I think this is a perfect time.
Bring it to a close.
Bring it to a close. So
Shout out
listen,
my
guys.
parents though, yeah.
Shout out
Fire.
to freaking parents, man.
Beautiful.
What I want to end off is, I want to just say, don't feel discouraged if you guys feel like you don't know what it is exactly you want to do in life. Don't feel discouraged if you feel like you don't have anyone around you. Everything takes time. Patience is a virtue, and you're going to find that time and you're going to get your chance. It's just a matter of how confident are you, and how much do you want it? How do you want to put yourself in a position to make yourself successful, and what are you going to do to better yourself? Once you get that motivation, man, I want you to just run with it. Run with it as long as you can and stay disciplined until you just reach that milestone and you start the cycle all over again. That's it.
W.
This has been the K&A Podcast. See you later.